Welcome back to Spicy Decks of the Week, where we talk about all the cool, crazy decks from the past week that had success by either doing really well in a tournament, reaching King of Games, or by going on a win streak at the King of Games or Legend level. This week we have all win streak decks. We're starting off with an Archfiend Infernoid deck. Now, this deck's really cool how we're actually getting the Infernoids to the graveyard, right? It used to be that Infernoids were one of the best decks in Duel Links for a short time after their release, but they got hit on the ban list pretty hard when their 2 spell and trap cards each got a limit 2 on them, basically forcing you to only run 1 copy of each in your deck, taking out 2 from each. Really devastating, so you need other ways to get them to the graveyard. A lot of people tried like milling them with Light Sworns and things like that, but we're going to do a very similar thing by using Tour Guide to get Fiendish Rhino Warrior out, and then going into Dante to mill 3. Plus, when we send the Rhino Warrior to grave, we can send another Infernoid monster from our deck to the graveyard with its effect, dumping a Fiend with it. So it just gives us some additional ways to get our Infernoids to grave. We're also running Void Trap Hole in here, giving us additional search targets for the Void Banishment, which is really cool. But we also have some synergy between these 2 archetypes and the skill and everything that we have going on here as well, right? Tour Guide can also bring out Archfiend Eccentric, which puts an Archfiend on board, making Falling Down live. If you don't know Falling Down, it's a spell card. It's basically like a a Snatch Steal, but you have to have an Archfiend monster or Archfiend card on the field, I should say, in order to activate this effect. So you can summon it off Tour Guide or activate Archfiend Eccentric like in your Spell Trap Pendulum zone, and then activate Falling Down, which acts as a Snatch Steal. Steal your opponent's monster and try to go for easy OTKs and steal wins from your opponents with this card. Really powerful, you can do that. Our skill also is pretty nice here. Spirit Grass. We've seen this before from, especially we've seen this all from this player before. Actually, Dilemma has gone on multiple win streaks with Archfiends before in the past. This is his most recent one. Spirit Grasp is our skill here. Let's us send a level 8 Dark Monster from our hand to the graveyard. Then you can draw a card, just a way to filter through your deck. It helps get your Archfiends to the graveyard so you can bring them back with your Call of the Archfiend. It's basically like a Call of the Haunted for the deck. On top of that, we also have Cursed Necrofear, which also has some neat interaction with your Infernoids, because you can return your Infernoids to your deck with this card, giving you more fuel in your Infernoid engine as the game continues to go along. So really neat things that we're doing with this deck to try to compensate for everything that has hit the Infernoid deck in the past. Also, 1-for-1 in here, yet another way to get our Infernoid Decatron out, the most important Infernoid to start out with. So really neat things here, and I actually have a deck I'm going to try out with some ideas that we're using from this deck here that I want to be trying in the future, possibly doing a video about, so definitely be on the lookout for that. And if you do like the video, be sure to like and subscribe. It does help out the channel. I really do appreciate the support. Next up, we have a Constellar deck. Now, Constellars are really consistent when it comes to making level 4 XYZs. They all have an effect that allow you to normal summon or special summon an additional Constellar monster from your hand, so it's really easy to go into your rank 4s. The problem this deck has is that you just don't have like a lot of ways to recur or get back card advantage with this deck, or to get +1s off this deck. Like, you don't have anything here that's like a Stratos effect that lets you search for more out of your deck and continue to get resources. You just go into your XYZ monster, and once you die, you kind of just lose out on the resources on it. So a little unfortunate that this deck doesn't have, support to really help it out in that way. But nonetheless, though, we do have a very powerful rank 4 toolbox at our disposal, led by the new most powerful rank 4 XYZ we have in the game, Evil Swarm Exciton Knight. The author and the pilot of this deck admitted that Exciton Knight really carried him to victory in a lot of games. This card is just too powerful. Being able to blow up your opponent's board and just completely swing the card advantage into your favor is hugely important, especially for a deck like this that doesn't do a good job of maintaining card advantage. Having something like an Exciton Knight you can very quickly go into, wipe out your opponent's board, and take over that card advantage is really powerful, because once you're able to do that and you're actually able to get into a really positive state with card advantage, like I said, this deck is really consistent at making rank 4s, and you have a really nice toolbox here between, giving you whatever you need to take down any kind of deck you're playing against, right? Between Dweller, the Steel Swarm Roach, you have the Constellar Omega, anything you're playing against, you usually have an answer to it in your extra deck of some kind of way, just because the rank 4 toolbox is so vast. So really cool things that this deck has. We also have Reinforcement of the Army, which can add us some extra consistency, searching us to Pollux, and yeah, beyond that, we're just running a lot of staple cards to try to protect ourselves, and just stand through. We also have Warrior of Hope as our skill here as well, just to give us the extra monster in our extra deck. Just because the rank 4 toolbox is so big, we need another way to give us a rank 4 in our extra deck, and we do have multiple monsters that can potentially use the Utopia as well, so being able to turn to your extra deck and use it multiple times may occasionally come up also. Next up, we have a Charmer Magistus deck. Now, these two decks have quite a bit of synergy, and if you're trying to find a way to use the new Charmer deck the new Familiar Possessed that came out of the most recent Structure deck, this might be the best way to do it outside of using Orcus. I know everyone's sick of seeing Orcus variants all over the place, so now, the main synergy that we have here, well, there's quite a few, right? So first off, the Familiar Possessed and all of them, they are all spellcasters and they're all level 4s. So that gives you the synergy with the various Magistus, XYZ, Synchro, and Link monsters, because you can go into all of them with the Familiar Possessed monsters. But also, Zoroa has 1500 defense, which goes with our really strong trap card, Possessed Partnerships. Possessed Partnerships lets you special summon a spellcaster with 1500 defense from your hand or graveyard, and if you have two monsters with two different attributes, you can destroy one face-up card on the field. And we have different attributes, not just with our Familiar Possessed monsters, but also our Magistus monsters are all different attributes as well. So some synergy, quite a bit of synergy between these two decks going on, and we can very easily get to our Possessed Partnerships with the Spirit Charmers. Spirit Charmers let you discard a card. You get two cards from your deck to hand with different names, one to spell, one trap, and then you can set one to the field. So it gives you a very easy way to get your monsters to the board in order to be able to get out your fusion plays, your synchro plays, or excuse me, your synchro plays, your XYZ plays, and all that stuff. So Spirit Charmers let you get your cards to your hand really easily. Consistently get your Possessed Partnerships to hand to pull off your combos. So a lot of synergy between these two decks. It's really cool the way these two go together. And again, if you're trying to find a way to use Spirit Charmers, you've been looking for a way to use this deck, this might be the best way to go about it. This might be the best way to use both of these two archetypes, again, outside of using something like Orcus. Just a lot of synergy between these two archetypes. And last but not least, we have a Star deck here. Now, this one's actually really cool, and this is one I actually want to try out myself. I've never seen Feast of the Wild level 5 used in Duel Links at all, so really, I mean, maybe inside a Hazy Flame, something like that, but I don't know if I've ever actually seen this card used, so really neat that we get to see it here. But if you've never seen the Star monsters, I'm not surprised they're not particularly commonly used in the game today, but they're really powerful effects, actually, if you can pull them off. So Hayate says if your opponent controls a monster, or if only your opponent controls a monster, or if you have a light monster, you can normal summon it without tributes. They're both level 5s, and then when you do, you can special summon the other one, the Kaiki, from your hand, and then when this one's special summoned, you can pay 500 life points to fusion summon into your big level 10 boss monster, that has 3000 attack points. It can gain more attack points. You can also make your opponent's monster attack points turn to 0, so you can hit them with 3000 damage with this thing, so you can do a ton of damage with that. And on top of that, because you have a ton of rank 5s in your extra deck that we can go for, we can just summon these two to the board with something like Feast of the Wild, bring them both back, go for a rank 5, and we actually have quite a few good rank 5s in the game now, with like the Chronomaly Vimana monster in here. Of course, Andreas is in the game as well. We also have the Super Quantum Mech level 5, the Fire one. We are running one copy of the Red Layer as well, so potentially we can actually go into it with that and be able to get the destruction effect during our opponent's turn, just giving us a little bit of an extra boost there. We also have Overlay Booster. It's another level 5 monster that you can special summon from your hand to the field if you have another one on the board. So if you happen to draw into one of your level 5s, like the Super Quantum or the Kite or the Hayate, you can special summon this to the field as well and have another way to go into an XYZ summon. And this also gives you a way to like affect the attack points of your monsters, give them a boost in order to be able to swing over things on your opponent's side of the field. So a lot of cool things that we have going on with this deck. Stars are a really cool archetype that just doesn't get in a lot of play. And we also have another cool thing. We have the Lava Golem here as well. So if our opponent has like a really problematic like monster effect that we're having trouble deal with, you can summon a Lava Golem to their field and then bring out the fusion monster, hit or turn its attack points to 0, and then hit your opponent for 3000 damage, taking out the Lava Golem and not giving their opponent your opponent's monster the threat to interact with you. So really cool things we're doing here with the Star deck. That's it for this episode of Spicy Decks of the Week. So if you guys liked the video, again, please be sure to like, subscribe. It really does help out the video. I do appreciate the support. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have a wonderful rest of the day.